Before he became a president, Thomas Jefferson was an idea of freedom, independence, and a nation built not on kings, but on the will of its people. At a time when empires dominated the world, Jefferson imagined a different system, one where individuals had rights that could not be taken away. His vision would help spark a revolution and give birth to a new nation. This is not just the story of a man, but the story of a radical idea that changed the course of history. Jefferson was born in 1743 in Virginia into a landowning family. He grew up in a colonial society under British control, where decisions were made across the ocean. Educated in law and philosophy, he was deeply influenced by Enlightenment thinkers like John Locke. From Locke, he embraced the idea that governments exist to protect natural rights, life, liberty, and property. These principles would later form the backbone of his political philosophy. As tensions between Britain and the colonies increased, Jefferson entered politics. He became known not as a soldier, but as a powerful writer. His words carried clarity, conviction, and purpose. By the mid-1770s, colonial leaders needed someone to express their case for independence, and Jefferson was chosen. In 1776, Jefferson worked alongside John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and others to draft the Declaration of Independence. Although it was a collaborative effort, Jefferson was the primary author. He carefully chose each word, shaping a document that would justify revolution. When the final version was presented, it declared that all men are created equal. These words would echo across centuries. The Declaration was more than a political statement. It was a philosophical challenge to monarchy and absolute power. It justified rebellion, not as chaos, but as a right. Jefferson gave the revolution its moral foundation. While generals fought on the battlefield, his ideas fought on paper. After independence, Jefferson served as a diplomat in France. There, he witnessed the early stages of the French Revolution. He supported the idea of liberty, but also saw the dangers of uncontrolled change. These experiences deepened his understanding of power, revolution, and human nature. Jefferson later became Secretary of State under George Washington, but he clashed with Alexander Hamilton over the direction of the new nation. Hamilton supported a strong central government and industrial economy. Jefferson believed in agriculture, local power, and individual freedom. This rivalry shaped the first political divide in American history. In 1800, Jefferson defeated John Adams to become president. This election marked the first peaceful transfer of power between political rivals. It proved that democracy could function without violence. Jefferson called it a revolution of the people, without bloodshed. As president, Jefferson made one of the boldest decisions in U.S. history, the Louisiana Purchase. He acquired vast lands from France, doubling the size of the nation. This deal involved Napoleon Bonaparte and reshaped the future of America. It opened the door for westward expansion and exploration. Jefferson also sent the Lewis and Clark expedition to explore the new territories. He wanted to understand the land, its people, and its potential. This mission expanded knowledge and strengthened national identity. It was exploration driven by vision. Jefferson's presidency unfolded during a fragile and uncertain time in global history. Europe was in chaos as the Napoleonic Wars reshaped the balance of power. Nations were rising and falling, alliances shifting rapidly, and global trade was under constant threat. The United States, still young and vulnerable, found itself caught between powerful empires like Britain and France. Jefferson's challenge was clear: how to protect a small, developing nation in a world dominated by war. In response to these tensions, Jefferson pursued a policy of neutrality. He believed the United States should avoid becoming entangled in European wars. However, maintaining neutrality proved far more difficult than expected. Both Britain and France interfered with American trade, seizing ships and restricting commerce. This pressure forced Jefferson into one of his most controversial decisions, the Embargo Act of 1807. He hoped economic pressure would protect American interests without war. But the outcome was far more complicated. The Embargo Act severely restricted American trade with foreign nations. Instead of weakening Britain and France, it caused economic hardship within the United States. Merchants suffered, ports slowed down, and public frustration began to grow. Jefferson's idealism, his belief in peaceful resistance, was now being tested by reality. This moment revealed a deeper truth. Even the strongest ideas can face limits when confronted with global power struggles. Beyond politics and policy, Jefferson's era was a time of expansion and transformation. The United States was no longer just a collection of former colonies. It was becoming a continental nation. Exploration, settlement, and growth defined this period. At the same time, deep contradictions remained. The nation spoke of liberty, yet slavery continued. Indigenous lands were being explored, but also encroached upon. Jefferson's America was growing, but it was also facing the moral questions that would shape its future. When Jefferson left office in 1809, he stepped away from political life, but not from influence. He returned to his home in Monticello and focused on education, philosophy, and legacy. He later founded the University of Virginia, believing that knowledge was essential for a functioning democracy. His life came to an end in 1826, on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, a symbolic ending to a life deeply connected to the birth of a nation. Jefferson left behind more than policies or achievements. He left behind ideas that continue to shape the modern world.